Hello, 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 my friends, and welcome. I'm Shawn with Manly Made Minute, and tonight, this is the extension of our Men of Monroe episode. I apologize to all of you. Work just takes over sometimes, and you are hitting the road and traveling for work. So I apologize for my absence, but I really, really liked the kit for this month, and I really like, or this week, and I really liked the card that I'd pre-made. So I thought I would just do a follow-up video, and I'm sure Walter took care of each and every one of you on the live here this evening. And this is just airing directly after the live, so you can just see my card. And it's not going to be as in-depth. I prepped most of it just to make this quick because I really wanted to show you guys this cute card that I made and just kind of feature it for you. I will put the bundle, I will put all of the links and the what haves in the description below for you so that you don't have to redirect back to Brutus Monroe if you're interested in this bundle for the evening. All that stuff will be in the description below, same as it is in the description for the Men of Monroe live that we have there. So I'll have all that same info. So before we get started and go down to my cam, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you guys follow me here on my channel. And you can find me on Instagram at Manly Made Minute as well, where I have card hops and all kinds of stuff there that I don't put on my YouTube. So let's go down to the down camera. Okay, I have prepped most of this card for you this evening. So we're going to do the watercolor portion of my card, and then we're on my little elements here, we're going to do the spraying portion of this card and then just assemble. Everything's pre-cut and ready to go, so I don't want this to try to be too long of a video for you. But this is the card I had prepped for this evening. And I just thought this was the cutest layout and the cutest card, and I just could not resist making this for you. So let's get started. We're going to do these top two elements here first and then assemble all the rest. So what I did, this is kind of a two-step process for that background for the effect that I wanted. So I'm going to move this because we're going to get messy here for a second. I am taking the stencil that's in the bundle, and I am just laying it down on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base. All right, this is the Perfect Blend card base. I'm going to take my Candy Apple and my Noble Fur in this bundle, and we're going to spray this. And then I'm going to take my piece that I cut to size for my card, and then we're going to reverse stamp that with the stencil and then do some ink blending for the card. And then we're going to save this piece for a little surprise here that we're going to add on to this at the very end. Okay, and we're going to do a little matchy-matchy combo here at the end. And I'm not going to tell you until we're done. All right, so I'm just taking the Candied Apple Red and just spraying that out. And then I'm just going to add some Noble Fur in pieces. And that is it. Now, I'm going to wipe around this before I even move this or do anything. Just because I'm trying not to get too messy with my card. Okay, so I'm going to lay this over here to my clean spot. We're going to carefully pick this piece up, because I want to keep that pattern. There you go. That's going to go aside for later. Now we're just going to take this, flip it, and get that set in there. Let that soak up. This Perfect Blend will soak this up pretty darn good, actually. Okay, and now I'm going to lift that up. I just wanted the negative portion. I don't care how perfect this is. I'm not looking for perfect shapes. I'm just looking for a texture. Okay, I'm not looking to get those stars and shapes and stuff off of that stencil. I just wanted this mixed media kind of background, and I don't need it to be crystal clear. All right, now I'm going to dry this a little bit, because then I'm going to ink blend with that stencil in the reverse. And I'm going to use, to ink blend this, let me get them out. I'm using the Simon Hurley, these are the old ink pads. I'm using the Psych and the Remember Me to add an overall blend over the top of this. So hopefully you guys had a great live with Walter. Those of you that may have missed it and are just catching this on my channel, head on over to the Brutus Monroe YouTube channel. Walter and I are on the design team, and we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just could not make it this evening, and I had just pre-recorded this for you all because I just needed to show the video and my card. All right, now I'm just going to wipe off my stencil here. Just a little bit of alcohol so it kind of dries quicker. So with that, just know these products, as we do on Men of Monroe, were all given to Walter and I complimentary to feature on our lives. And these bundles we put together is an affiliate link of mine that you can use to receive a discount when applicable. All right, so I laid it down this way. I'm just reversing this so nothing kind of lines up on me. All right, and I'm going to start with the Psych. And I'm just going to ink blend, and then I'm going to move my stencil and ink blend one more time. I'm just trying to get some texture and some different variations in this pattern. Okay, now I'm just going to move it again, and I'm just going to change pads. I didn't grab another blender, so I'll just change the pad on the blender. And now I'm going to go over it with Psych. And I just moved it so I can not get the same pattern. Blues and greens, or excuse me, blues and yellows together will make green. So some of this is going to turn green, and that's just fine. I know that when I pick these colors. All right, I just have a very graffiti-ish kind of background. That's all I wanted. Does this go with radishes? I don't know. It's not a garden, I can tell you that. But it is, that's what we're getting. All right, now one last thing with this. I'm going to go back to my Remember Me. And I just want a little separation between my cardstock that I'm going to put this on and the border. So I'm just going to get the very, very edge. I'm not blending this out. I just want a very vibrant, distinct blue border around this. I'm not looking to blend it. So I am loading up the ink pretty good on it so that it grabs that edge of that paper. Okay, that's it. I'm not blending that in. I don't want to blend that out too much. I just need a separation between my craft paper we're going to put it on and that white cardstock. All right, we're going to set that aside. I'm going to dry this one just a little bit. And I'm looking to see, I got to look at my little surprise just to make sure what I did here. Oh, we got to do one last thing to these two pieces. So I got to get this dry. I did actually the same thing to this one. It doesn't get too wet with that technique, so it dries pretty quick. You're not soaking it up with water and watercoloring it or anything, so it does dry relatively quick. Okay, so then let's just grab, I gotta grab my stencil again. And we'll just start with, I'm just gonna keep to one side because I'm only gonna use just a little portion of this anyway. For my little matchy something. I had stuff left over when I made the card, and I was like, you know what would be fun is to do something that goes with this card. So that's what I did. Okay, let's just do some Psych. I just twisted it, turned it, no particular way. Okay, throw those aside. Now we're going to take the Motel Sunset Glitter Glaze, my all-time favorite glitter glaze. There's a new one I got. There's a Halloween one that came out. Bonfire Glimmer is my second favorite, but it's very similar. It's just got more red in it. But this is my this is my favorite. So I'm just, nothing fancy here, you guys. Just smear it, okay? I just want shimmer and shine on the top of this. That's it. So we're just gonna smear as they say on Birdcage, and then let it dry as I finish the rest of this card, okay? That is it. Easy as that, okay? All right, let's find what I do with my towel here. Okay, and I'm just gonna get my glitter and ink off of here. Okay, set these two aside. Now I've got a couple extra elements besides the 3 because we're going to use it on this little thing at the end here. I've stamped these out with embossing ink, and I've embossed them with Raven and fussy cut them out already just to have them prepped and ready for you. So that was the process that got me here. Let's just start with our radishes. So I'm just using all aqua pigments, so I'm getting out my red. And this is easy watercoloring. There's no shading or anything. You could shade this after with some like colored pencils if you wanted to or something, but because of the character portion of these, I just kept it simple and not worrying about shading and highlighting and that kind of stuff. I just thought they're just cute little guys, and I don't need to add a ton of stuff to these ones. Especially for the background is a lot going on in this card, so I just thought, I don't need to. And I'm just putting this straight on, like so. It's kind of like a paint by number situation, really. So those of you that hopped on over after the live, thank you so much for popping over and checking out my card. Appreciate you guys very much. Walter and I appreciate our fans and our followers and people that show up for us on Wednesdays. So we just truly appreciate it and have so much fun with it. Here and on Brutus Monroe, don't forget to hit our thumbs up and likes and subscribes and all the things, because that just really helps us out, helps the channels out, helps Brutus Monroe out, and you guys know what to do, and we just really appreciate it. In the description and I carried it all over to my channel. I'm going to go purple for these little radishes. And I'm going to go a little bit more heavier on the top and just fade it out to the bottom on these ones. So I'm adding just a tiny, tiny dot of water so I get a little blooming happen. And I'm just letting that naturally do its thing, and then I'm going to add it a little heavier here at the top. And then as these dry and soak in, I come back and I might add just a little more. Okay, do my little trio people guys here. So, and when I say, if I wipe this off of my towel, I just get just the very, very little bit on the very end of the brush. Brush it over like it's just enough to not even like puddle on top, because that water, I just need enough water to get it to move. And on the leaves, we're gonna do it just so simple. On the leaves, we're gonna do one color on one side, another color on the other, because these leaves got a nice little pattern to them, and that's it. One more, and then we'll do the greens here. I might go back. I have to go back on that other radish once it dries here. Start to curl up on me, so I'm holding it down. All right, one more. Just enough to kind of get it on the surface and soak in just a little bit. Let me zoom in so you can kind of see. When I could talk about blooming, it's just how it grabs and it starts to creep like a spider web. Because it's going to follow where that water is. And you can dot it down just to start pulling it down just a little bit, depending on how much you want. And then I'm just throwing a little bit more of a puddle at the top because that's where I want it to be heavy and dry. A little darker. All right, let's just dry these really quick. This is on the Brutus Monroe watercolor paper, so it should dry. It soaks up. It spreads really nice. If it's on perfect blend, it'll soak up into that paper way too quick. You can do it. You just get a different effect, and it just the pigments act so much different. So pretty easy coloring. No technique involved here at all. Oops, sliding all over here on me on my glass mat. Gets hot. And don't forget, you guys, if anything we do on our Brutus Monroe, Men of Monroe lives inspire you, please use that hashtag Men of Monroe Wednesdays. Post your project if you got some inspiration. Even if it's not the exact project and you just got ideas from what we did, we love it. And we're just looking for that, for tagging whatever inspires you. You might have seen a Men of Monroe episode and then this is what you made, and it wasn't exactly what we did. That's perfect. Just hashtag it Men of Monroe Wednesdays. And then don't forget, down in that description, we have put at the very bottom all of our design team's socials. Instagrams, the tubes, the YouTubes, anything that our team has, we've put it in there. And we just felt, check them out. They are putting out some stellar stuff, and we just couldn't let them go unnoticed, to be honest. Like, they just are really knocking it out of the park, and from my understanding, it just seems like we have such a great team this year that's really putting out some nice stuff. So we just thought, let's just share. All right, I'm going to come back to these guys. Let me just clean off my mat. All right, now I'm just going to use green and yellow green and make this about as kindergarten as it can get for coloring. You could use yellow too. You could just use straight yellow. I'm just using 2 shades of green. So on one side, I am just going to do on the same side on all of these, yellow, green. On all the halvesies. And then the other leaves that are just patterned differently, I just kind of space it out random, Oops, soak some of that back up. And this is just the cutest, adorable set ever. And now just for pattern and everything when these are together, I'm going opposite side for yellow on yellow green on these ones. I've seen pictures of our teams with this on planting them in a garden. I think Christopher did a live last week on. Literally, these were like sitting in dirt and just so cute. So cute. I didn't go garden theme on this one. I was trying to mix in this paper and I was going for more kind of cutesy something, and so that's how I landed on this one. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my straight up green and color in all the rest. Sorry if I was off camera there a little bit. I'm going to zoom just back out a little bit here so I don't start creeping closer to me and get off camera for you guys. And I think, let me look at my card. I think, yeah, I did. On some of these, I did more of a blend. And I'll get out the card to show you. And so I'm not too concerned if these get in here because I can actually just mix these. See? Which is what I'm going to do. Makes it easier anyway. I'm just blending them out. Scoot that over to now dry completely for me. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to start filling in my gaps and then blend it out. Well, that's all still wet. Making sure I fill in all my white spots though. Okay. Now these ones with the bigger spaces I'm going to keep separate. Just like so. A little bit more character-y kind of coloring. I don't think I've seen, well, I mean, hostas and stuff I think have two tones and things like that, I think. I don't know if I've seen a flower that's got, or a vegetable that's got the two tones, but hey, we can do what we want with our cards, right? That one, and then same on these. Need a fine point brush to get into these little ones without getting too messy outside the lines. Hence the embossing on this one. I get a little shaky, so sometimes it helps that embossing just kind of holds it all in for me. All right, last and final here. And we should be able to start assembling once we get this done watercolored. I'm going to leave the ends of the radishes white on these. If you Google radish, which I had to do, there are various versions of radishes. The red ones, though, tend to have the white ends on them, so I left them. And less coloring, right? Why not? Okay, let's just set this stuff aside. Clean this up. I'm going to let that dry naturally for a little bit here while I start assembling. So here's what we have done. All right, I thought I had my dimensions written down here. So here we go. I have my card base, and we're not going to ink blend this edger at all. I just want it nice and clean. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then my pieces that go on this. I have my hall pass. Both of these are cut the same size, and they are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So one's going to go on top, one's going to go on bottom with a 1/4 inch of, I believe this is midnight, if I remember right, that goes in between there, just like so, okay? And with this dimension, you just need a tiny, tiny, tiny edge on that first one, and a little bit bigger on the sides, but you'll see. But you got to go pretty tight up against the edge to get this to fit nicely with these measurements, okay? All right. I'm going to lay this one down, and so it's pretty tight up against that edge, and center it side to side like so. Okay. Then I just lay my strip in between, set the one up against the strip. I don't need to measure the size, and it should lay out. Keyword, it should. Okay. So just match up my ends so it's even there. And now if I lay this in here, it should, yeah, that looks great. I did a floral, and I did kind of this plaid checkery one. I love plaids and checkery of any color. And I thought that would go well with the theme of this. And I kept them similar colors to keep it a nice match for the card. Okay, that's your card base. No ink blending on that whatsoever. Then we've got our second piece of lunch bag, which is 3/4 by 4.5. And then this piece that we did over here was 3 1/8 by 4 3/8, and that's going to go on here. So let's just get this to dry a little bit since we still have that glitter on it. Get it to dry most of the way. It won't probably dry all the way for me before I can get this on here, but just at least most of the way. I didn't pre-prep a backup, so that's all right. All right. Then we're gonna stack up our radishes with our sentiment. And I had a smaller sentiment. Oh, here it is, right here. I did the sentiment, the same cardstock as my strip, so it would match in the midnight. That's pretty good. I can at least touch it a little bit. So this one is going to go on here. And I did it with just a little border. Just to match my border on the other one. Okay? And let's just kind of flatten that out. I gotta grab one thing here that I forgot. My drawer. For the surprise. All right, let me grab some dimensionals. Okay, so for this piece, I just used some strips, thicker strips here, rather than my little squares. To pop this up. Pardon me. Because it's small enough, I don't feel like I need 3 strips in there. That little gap is going to be fine. All right. Easy card, right? Get a nice little template going, and it's an easy card to. I mean, the biggest portion of this card is your watercoloring and your fussy cutting on those vegetables. So, I mean, paper like this is easy. All right, pardon my head. I'm going to center this for one quick second. All right, and I think that matches nice, don't you? The whole color combo I think looks really, really nice. Okay, we got to get some drying going on these little puppies. And let me grab my other dimensionals here. We use squares on these. All right, don't forget, check out this bundle. I believe there was a free gift with this. You'll have to look at the description on the Brutus Monroe channel. I'll put it all below mine too, but 15% off to our subscribers, of course. But these releases have been going really well, so if you're interested, get it now. The collab link, my affiliate link, is in the description. Okay. Enough chasing those around the glass mat. All right. Now these are just going to get lined up right down that middle. And I did one with the threesies and one single guy. One little single lady here. She's a vegetable with company, though, that's for sure. She's in good company with these other radishes. All right. This one's going to go in the center, so we'll start with that one. And so this one I have pretty much straight up and down. I've got the other ones just slightly not up and down. Give myself just a tiny bit of wiggle room here. Like that. And I put Madam Single over here to the left. I just went just a little, kind of centered, and just a little bit cockeyed. Okay. Same here, a little centered. I'm bringing this one up just slightly more because it's smaller, and it's going to give me room for my sentiment right here, which is going to go right here in this corner. So I'm going to measure that out and flag that corner. So take that down. And I embossed this, it says Your Radishing, with the alabaster embossing powder. And this one I'm not putting up on dimensionals. We're just going to glue this straight down. And I'm bringing it right to the edge of the bottom edge of my top layer and all the way to the right edge of my lunchbox. Because then it just fit up in that corner just really nice and keeps it square for me. All right. You guys, that's the card. That's it. That is our card. Let me zoom in for you, and then we'll do our special little addition to this card. But that is my card with this Radishing set. And I just could not resist doing this for you guys. All right, little sidebar here. So I decided to make another one because I like this so much, and I had some scraps, and so I just made another thing. And this can be kind of a combo with a card and a gift tag, that if you want to give the card with a gift bag and put a tag on it. And then this is what I did for my tag. I just took a little, this is I think a number 2 size tag, added some scraps to my papers, and I made, we made these extra here, right? So let's just dry that up. That goes on the front of my tag. And let me grab, here they are. They're right on the top here for me. Just get that so it's touchable at least. And then I did a different sentiment on this one. You're unbelievably rad for this one. And this would be great just to pair with the card and put this on a gift tag, right? Make it a matching set. All right, that's just good enough to the touch so I can get this on. And all I did here, and I gotta get a hole punch out. I didn't measure, I didn't pre-cut, I didn't do any of that. I'm making this as easy as possible. So let me zoom out again. So this is my little A2, I think this is, or number 2 size, number 3 size tag. Just a regular manila tag. I'm cutting this portion off. And I'm lining up the one edge so it's just less cutting. I'd line up that bottom edge, but I didn't get enough stuff at the bottom there, so I'll just cut that off. Okay, that is it for that. And we just trim it. No measuring, no fuss. And I find stuff like this is kind of fun to do with any and all scraps you have, actually, and just make a whole slew of tags that are ready to go. Then I just went back through with my hole punch and re-punched out this one, okay, because it's the same exact size. Now I have some scraps of what I used for the card, right? And I had a scrap of, here it is right here, of blue. So I'm just going to take and same thing, no measuring, no fuss. And we're going to lay this on, like, make sure that stretches across. Ooh, that just barely stretched across on me. Okay. Stretch this piece right down the, here's the back side that we're doing, okay? Stretch that piece like so. Line up this piece like a puzzle. so. You can see I did some ink blending, so it's just kind of matching my card. Trim all this off on this side. And look how fast this is coming together, right? My radishes are ready to go. This is just paper scrapping, which is one of my favorite things, is to use up scraps. I hate throwing literally anything away because I just love playing with scraps and recycling and reusing as much as I possibly can. So, all right, that's the back. This is the front. And you can see that I ink blended yellow on one, Psych on one side and Remember Me on the other. So let's just, I have Psych here on my ink blender. So we're going to start on the front side. And this one I'm just throwing it on. I'm not worried about just that little edge. Nope, just throw it on. That's it. I try to make these, you know, all this stuff for you guys as uncomplicated. Whoops, I forgot to put the pad down. I'm not gonna blend with Velcro. As uncomplicated as possible, because I just, you know, I hate making things complicated. Like anybody can do these kind of things, right? Throw it down. Good to go. Okay, let me just get this cleaned off and put this one together. All right, let me find, here it is. So on the front side here, I'm going to put down my sentiment first. So I just laid that all around one edge and then trimmed it so it just looked like part of the tag. I left a little border here at the bottom on this one. Didn't line that one up. And then I'm just trimming. I went off a little bit just to get the funky edge off of that. And these ones I took, because I had blues and stuff back here, I just took my ink blender so it matched on the back side when I go off on this. So like this, and I've got it like this, and I've got this one over here. So I'm just gluing down that bottom little piece. Oops, I didn't mean to glue up there. And I'm just letting the leaves hang off the edge. Okay, then my little trio went a little Willy Wonkus on this side. Bring that up a little bit. And overlap that sentiment just so it kind of just all feels together. Okay, all I did is I took some red and white. Why not? Because it's radish, right? Oops, some red and white baker's twine. And I made 2 of these to push through, because I wanted it kind of a fuller tassel on here. So I do the first one. It's hard to get it all through for me sometimes, so I do them separate. You can do it together. If you can get them in there all together, go right ahead. Does not need to be done this way, but I guess I probably could have. When I hole punch it, it seems easier. Then I'm just pulling all of these through just so it looks all one. As I tighten that last one down. And tassel that off. And we got ourselves a little matching set. Let me zoom out just a tiny bit so I can get this in full frame. So this one is tonight's little set. This was the pre-made set, exactly the same. Now I've got 2. So I'll zoom in for those. How adorable is this, don't you think? I love the paper. I love this cute little stamp set. I think these elements would be great on a card, just one single one in the middle of a card with some ink blending or some watercoloring background or something, or some daubing or something. And I have done one, but not to that extent. But I just love this so much. So there you have it, you guys. Let's head back up to my face cam and show you these from the front view because this camera focus is pretty darn good. There we go. And my little tag. So thank you so much. Thank you so much if you've hopped over from Men of Monroe Live to check out my card. I missed you guys terribly. I missed our interaction this evening. I will be back next week with you all. I will not be traveling here, hopefully now for a little while again. It does pop up every so often, but I just appreciate you guys if you've hopped over to check out my card. Please give me those thumbs up. It really helps our algorithm on Men of Monroe and over here on mine as well. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you are not a subscriber to my channel and to Brutus Monroe. We appreciate you all. And until next time, I'll see you then.